The Quarantine Zone demo is finally publicly available. It was 2 weeks ago, but I am fashionably late, and I take my fucking time making videos, so I'm going to give you a review on it. You from Alabama, perhaps? 2 weeks after you've probably seen a million other reviews that are probably way better than this one, but you know what?
You can trust me, I'm healthy!
Okay, so I'm gonna list off some positives I've seen and then some negatives. And to make this more authentic, I do not have a script. I am going to go off memory and rewatching some of my own gameplay I had on stream. By the way, check out my Twitch. I stream there semi-regularly, I mean at least twice a week, so there's that. And with that, let's get into the video. So I'm going to rocket launch the positives at you first, to give like quick bullet points so you get a quick idea if you don't want to watch the whole video, and then I'm going to elaborate further on each individual point. So we have graphics, uniqueness, gameplay, hinted story, and on top of that, the fact that it's an indie developer, that's kind of great. And then finally, comedic moments, because even in my 1 hour stream I had a solid 10 funny moments where I couldn't fucking contain myself.
I'm healthy!
Now let's get into the most important one first. Gameplay. The gameplay from the 1 hour demo is very hard to say if it actually does later on become less repetitive, but so far it is semi-repetitive but fun. It's the kind of repetitive, kind of like Minecraft, where you have a 2-week Minecraft phase but you do want to come back to it later on. It's that kind of repetitive. It's fun. And also when the survivors say I wasn't bitten by a dog but their fucking skin is green, that's the I wasn't bitten by a dog?
I was bitten by a dog! Not a zombie!
The ability to decide where the survivors go and also monitor their progress in quarantine is something I appreciate because the concept of this game is not necessarily original, it has been done before, but the depth at which it was made, also being able to manage, resources for your base, being able to check up on survivors even if they're already in the survivor block so you can see, how was I maybe wrong sending this one over here? It's great and it makes it feel that much more immersive even if it is a little bit ridiculous at times. One little detail that I do appreciate so much, and I've seen a few other streamers have a compilation of these moments happening, is when the survivors turn on you and attack you and you don't react fast enough to get your fucking gun. That shit happened to me, but I don't think it was on stream. I think it was when I was playing the demo privately, but if it did happen on stream, I'll clip it right now. Anyway, yeah, that shit's funny, and it's little details like those that I love. You can see that the developers thought of many little details and they just add them in, that they're passionate about their game. Furthermore, you don't have to scan survivors every day. Some days you're just responsible for making sure there's food and also, what the fuck is it called?
Gasoline!
And then other days you have to fight off a horde of zombies, and then the next day you have to evacuate the remaining survivors out. There is some diversity here, and I do believe, cannot confirm, but I do think that we're going to get more in the final release, which can take a little while, but all good things take time. Now, point 2. Uniqueness. The concept of a zombie outbreak in of itself is not unique, but this border patrol well, not necessarily border patrol, border checking to make sure that these motherfuckers ain't infected is a new concept, and I am quite fond of it. So far from what we've seen, as I previously stated, the gameplay was really fun, and when it comes to graphics and soundtrack, I'm about to get into that. So for uniqueness, a solid 9.5 out of 10. It's something we haven't seen to this level before. Now I do think we might see it in future after this game's release, but I like it. It's solid. I'm going to conglomerate soundtrack and graphics into one because we haven't had much of a soundtrack reveal yet, only a little bit in the main menu, and so far it sounds pretty fitting for a zombie game, so can't say much about that, but the graphics are nice. I wouldn't say they are hyper-realistic, but they're realistic enough to feel immersive, but not too realistic to the point where you need an extremely good computer to be able to run it. Now, I have a pretty decent device, don't get me wrong, but I'm not on PewDiePie's level, okay? My setup is not the best, and I am appreciative that I can still have, a decent setup with great graphics in a great game and not have it, burn my PC. Now I can't say too much about the lore, so far we don't know much, but there are little hints here and I'm not going to spoil them for you, but you do have to look for them. It's not like they're going to immediately throw it in your face and tell you this is exactly what happened when and where. You kind of have to look for them. But I'm slowly starting to get a grasp of it, and I appreciate it. And then my final point, it's an indie developer. We love indie developers on this channel, guys. Now, onto the negatives. So far, to me, there are not that many, but that can change with the final release. Keep in mind, this is just a demo, so everything is still a little bit up in the wind. Who knows, they might do a complete 180 and the game completely turns out to be absolute trash later on, but I hope not, because so far I'm really loving it. Okay, so negatives. There are a lot of glitches, there are a lot of performance bugs, it has crashed for me a few times and it's not up to my device, and then furthermore, there's whatever this is. Honestly, it feels like a slap in the face, but in a good way. It's telling you that you failed, and honestly, it's probably one of my favorite elements in the game, so I don't know why I'm complaining. And then earlier again, I mentioned the monotony of the gameplay. I wouldn't say it's terrible monotony, and as I said, it's still demo, it can expand later on, who knows. But after your second massive zombie attack, you're kind of annoyed by it more than excited, at least that's how it was for me. I wanted to go back to scanning survivors. It was like, that shit was fun to me. Let me do more of that. Also, I wish there were like more available symptoms, and maybe we're going to get more later on, but I do hope there's just more zombie. For it being a zombie game, there's a lot of zombie, but there's not enough zombie, if you catch my drift. Am I making any sense? Editor Jen here. No, you are not making any sense, honey. You never make sense. So, taking everything into consideration, what do I give the demo so far? An 8.5 out of 10. It's worth playing, it's free for now, and honestly, give it a shot. I enjoyed it, and the two people that were in chat also enjoyed it, so why the hell not? It's not an extremely long demo, it lasts about an hour and a half on average. I mean, it depends how fast you play through the game. Theoretically, you can complete it in 20 minutes. The demo stretches across the first few in-game days. But that also means there isn't necessarily a time limit. I mean, I've restarted the days and could keep on playing and playing and playing, so I suppose you could do that as well. But I do hope this video was at least somewhat informative and my rambling wasn't too annoying. I am a certified yapper, you're gonna have to get used to that. If you did enjoy it, like and subscribe, stay hydrated, and fuck off.